So here are all of my encouragements for you all to make terrible decisions, as I am the GM.
Ash has a crossbow bolt in her side, 0 dots in skirmish, and 0 dots in wreck. And I'm so excited to see this get even worse. So that's one vote for escalation.
Skelly has 3 guns and all the ammo.
Crossroads has no guns, but Crossroads is a gun powered by ghosts.
Have we established that your guns are special to you? I feel like we're establishing that your guns are special to you.
Before this crew, they were my only friends.
You've known us for 5 days. You've known
really
those guns a lot longer.
These are my babies.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Rowan was starting to do this, and then he realizes to harvest. This doesn't help. Like, don't do that.
This is not.
No.
This is
Like,
not.
don't do
the
this.
thing.
Yeah.
Doing this to an executioner.
Yeah, that's not what you
Just
want.
like this, like.
We call that the go sign, you know? Like, yeah.
Oh man.
This theme's great. I will do a fortune roll. Notes. No thoughts. Head empty. 1! I rolled a 1!
Yep. Now you can hear me? I don't know what happened there just now, but I'm here. I exist. I am indeed physical and corporeal. Hello everyone. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for yet another session of Girl by Moonlight, Fractal Spire, our Speculate special series on this channel. I will be your humble stage manager this evening again. My name is Brandon O'Brien. I'm very excited to do the thing with you all this evening. Please tell me that you can hear me better now. I don't know what happened. But yes, I am indeed here. And I hope that I don't have any other audio issues. OBS was being weird earlier, but everything seems to be in order. Okay, cool. But yes, I am excited to share in the shenanigans for this evening. I am very excited to bring the strange friends with me. If you have noticed, we had a brand new logo that we showed off during our fundraiser stream. And again, thank you so very much for supporting our fundraiser stream marathon a couple of weeks ago. We raised $1,001 thanks to you all, and that's actually really rad. That's going all the way into producing even more content for you all. Thank you so very much in particular for those whose support went to the Patreon, because that's been a great boon to us as well, helping us continue doing the work that we're going to be doing from this point onward. And I hope that you will consider spreading the word for other people to learn about the cool stuff that we're doing, so they can also support us and we can continue to make wonderful content for you to consume. A reminder, of course, that there are all manner of wonderful ways for you to support this channel and all of the content that takes place on it. Let me just type the thing. Right, so not only by checking out the streams themselves on twitch.tv/arvanelron, by checking out the YouTube, which you can find at !arvtube, by checking out Greg's Twitter as well as the Speculate Twitter, by joining us on Patreon, and by supporting the merch store, which you can find at !arvshop. Thank you so very much again for supporting Speculate and the cool stuff that we do at Speculate. A reminder that you can support the Patreon and let other people know about the Patreon. Patreon.com/speculate. So they can, so we can continue making cool stuff for everyone to consume. Of course, we are in a fraught time social media wise that at some point Twitter will not be the best possible place for everyone to gravitate. But we look forward to having a better sense of what our collective social media um, status will be very, very soon. And when that happens, we will let you all know. We want to be in a place where everybody is already being. But when that happens, you will know that you can get information about Speculate and all of the other cool stuff that happens on twitch.tv/Arvin Elron there. So please be on the lookout for when we let you know on Twitter that we're not on Twitter anymore. And hello, QCG Aaron. Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope that you're having a wonderful evening. I hope that everyone's having a wonderful evening. Thank you so very much for joining us. And without further ado, because my brain is actually falling out of my head, I'm just gonna go straight to um, interrupting all of these lovely people who were surely having some wonderful conversation that I just totally ruined because I'm a terrible person. Um, as I come over here, so you can say hello to my strange friends. Hello, strange friends. I'm very excited to get into shenanigans with you all. But before the shenanigans begin, of course, I should ask all of you to please let all the lovely people in chat know who you are, what you do, and who you'll be playing this evening, starting with Mike.
Hello, everybody. I am Michael R. Underwood. I go by Mike here, he, him pronouns for me. I am one of the co-hosts of Speculate, along with Brandon and Greg, aka Arv. If you were not here last Saturday, we had an amazing 9-hour stream, which was super fun, and the community really came out and blew us totally away. So you can find that on YouTube at youtube.com/Arvin Elron under Speculate Fundraiser or Speculate Marathon. I don't remember exactly. It's there. You'll find it. It's fine. Today I am playing Vic Sains, the Guardian. Vic is they, them, except when having to perform masculinity under dystopia, at which point they are he, him.
Thank you. Next, Valerie.
Hello, friends. I am Valerie Valdes, she, her pronouns. I'm the author of the Chilling Effect trilogy and the forthcoming Where Peace is Lost, more space opera for me. I stream as the kids are asleep, and I am playing Nina Lopez, the unlikely hero.
Thank you. Next, Yoi.
Hello, hello, strange friends. Jeoi Gawain Lin, he, they pronouns for me. Tonight I am playing Vermilion Jingwei Ruth, the outsider. He's more of a they, them, but goes by he, him because he doesn't really care about anyone. That's just everything is terrible.
It is. And last but not least, Iori.
Happy time zone, friends. Kusano Iori, they, them pronouns for me. I am playing, as always, Kat Holly, the time traveler who uses she, her pronouns.
Nice. And as for me, I am Brandon O'Brien. Pronouns he, him, or they, them. I am a poet, writer, and game designer from Trinidad and Tobago, but what matters is that I am the stage manager for tonight. It is my responsibility to make the world as terrible as possible for all of these lovely people. So in that vein, I should remind everybody exactly how terrible things were the last time. So last time on Girl by Moonlight Fractal Spire, our Dream Knights were invited to a party, and our one of them, Kat, was given a job offer that didn't really appeal to anyone, but would have been potentially useful. So they decided to check out the party anyway. At which point, a series of very weird things happened. All of which kind of culminated in being aware that this might be a trap. At which point, the dream was beginning to be manipulated, and in an attempt to discover by whom and for what purpose, they found a young girl in the dream who claims to be Rustam Demir's little sister and insists that she has been in the dream for most of her life. And on a whim, in part because the dream was becoming hostile at that point, our Dream Knights have decided to take Aisha Demir out of the dream with them in the hopes of learning more about why she was there and what is about to happen next. At which point things have gotten incredibly more tense for all of them. Um, and one of the things that we need to do to discover exactly how tense that is we didn't do Fallout last session, so we're gonna do it live, as they say. Which means that I need to open roll 20 and throw some dice. Um, Mike, would you like to help me do the thing? Sometimes my brain falls out of my head when it comes to Fallout.
Sure. So the conspiracy track is on tier 2, but tier 2 is not full.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, what else do we need to know? Have we been doing you roll on the tier that is full or on the tier that is filling?
It should be the tier that is full.
Okay. And then Fallout. Fallout results are one level worse until all propagators are identified. I don't believe we have all propagators identified.
We do not.
So I think then we roll 1d6 and you will take whatever the next higher level result is from tier 1 results.
Okay, let me do the thing. So that's 1d6. I rolled a 4, which means that instead we will take whatever is at 6.
So a 6 for tier 1 is a suspect lets slip a dark secret.
Okay.
Brandon briefly became a surprise happy gif.
This is going to be wild. I'm very glad that I did that. I'm very glad that I know the process by which the following actions are about to take place.
Wait, so should we be rolling on tier 2? Because if the tier 3 Fallout thing is full, the series is over.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not
Ooh.
sure. So the tier 2 6 result is the dream bleeds into the waking. So dealer's choice, maybe.
You know what? Por qué no los dos? Because the only dark secret that is left to reveal was probably gonna happen anyway. So let's get into some shenanigans. So, our scene opens with a pile of aching and confused bodies in Ruth's apartment bathroom, um, jostled and uncomfortable after having just escaped the dream. Um, it is dry, thank God, but it's no less dark and cramped. Um, and the very first thing that happens is um, Aisha Demir uh, kind of wriggles her way out of the pile of all of you, straightens up, and then reaches into one of the pockets of the pants that she's wearing and pulls out something. And you can all hear her mutter, I don't think this was a good idea after all. And then the Aisha Demir in front of you is no longer Aisha Demir. She briefly becomes, in very rapid succession, a large plank of wood, a fluttering pile of confetti, a large mannequin in her shape and in her clothing, a very loud, very bright, and very painful glitching strobe appearance in like the room around you, and all the while this is happening, she drops whatever it was she was holding. And it hits the ground and makes this awful shattering noise. And for the purposes of the camera, we will briefly zoom into this shattering noise as we see what would have also been a very fancy, transparent glass cell phone. Much smaller than Rustum's, but still looks very expensive. Has just fallen to the floor and broken into 1,000 pieces. And all of those pieces just so idly start to make the shape of the fractal eye as the camera zooms all the way into it. And on the other side is a very frightened, very confused Cat Holly. Cat, I would like you to describe a thing for me. What is the absolute worst timeline that you have since survived up to this point?
There are several where Vic dies due to the counter-revolutionaries. But actually, I think the very worst one is the one where Vic gets kidnapped and Kat can't find out either way whether Vic has been killed or not. Because in that one, she is trapped in a cycle of just rewinding, trying over and over to ask the right questions to the right people to figure out where Vic is being held, if Vic is even still alive.
Okay.
The uncertainty of that one makes it the worst one to be in.
Aha. If you were to gather information, let's say by asking the colleagues of Vix who you know, what would you roll to do so?
Right. Because we don't have sway in this game, do we?
No, we don't. We have far more evocative things all of a sudden.
And I don't have dots in any of them. I mean, ideally, empathize, which I have no dots in.
Would you like to take the risk anyway?
I don't think I actually have a choice, so let's go.
Okay, fair enough. Your position is desperate. Please mark your XP accordingly. And your effect is great. There is a large pool of people who you can ask. It's just whether or not.
Yeah, failed that roll. Failed that roll so bad.
Oh my
1 and a
God.
6, 0 dice. You take the lower. Ugh.
Yike. You ask all of the counter-revolutionaries whom you know. None of them can give you any immediate information. All of them are as eager to find Vic as you are. All of them are trying their very hardest. But nobody has any leads. All they can tell you is the details of how Vic got snatched. Vic, what are those details?
So in this timeline, Vic like everybody has been pressed. Ruth's apartment has been burned down. Nina has lost her job. Kat has fled Somnio after it was kind of infiltrated and basically being turned into an operating theater for not like surgery operating theater, but like a forward operating base for the conspiracy. And throughout all of this, Vic has been straining against the edges of Deed's indulgence. And Vic gets caught because in a critical moment, in a mission in the dream, Deed withholds transcendence, and Vic is stuck fighting as kind of their normal dreaming self because in Deed's mind, Vic has compromised too many times and is no longer worthy of their blessing and is taken.
Oh my god. Vic, you awaken tied to a large metal table. The room that you're in is dark. You can hear that it probably has 4 or 5 other warm bodies in it, but you can't see anybody. You can just hear muttering and footsteps from some ways away.
Go ahead.
And after a few moments, someone in a tuxedo with a very ornate white and gold mask on their face enters through one of the few like scraps of light that is present in the room for you to see them. And they lean in very close and say, "You really thought that you would last this long?"
So are my feet/legs bound as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because otherwise I was gonna like do some leg grappling bullshit. I think regardless, Vic will headbutt this person and try to break the mask open.
Give me a roll for that.
I'm going to use Defy.
Okay, cool. Your position is desperate and your effect is standard. Because you
Sure.
can headbutt them. It's just whether it breaks the mask or not, whether it draws blood.
Sure. I'm just going to write down Desperate Standard Defy so that we have a record, and I'm going to roll 2d6, which is how much I have in Defy. That's a 1 and a 3, however. So I think perhaps Vic is too well bound.
Yeah. You are close enough to just nudge the mask. Like, you do touch him. But it is obviously not enough to cause any pain. The masked man chuckles and goes, "Really? You're really going to struggle all the way unto the end?"
Every single breath I have, I will spend freeing people. That's what you don't understand. People will not stop. Once you see freedom, once you can imagine it, you cannot help but fight for it.
I understand that part. But I think that there are two things that you don't understand. The first is that people are fickle. People fall down over all kinds of distractions all the time. It's how we've lasted this long, and you've known that part. That's why you've been undoing all of our telecommunications, why you've been crashing our parties. But here's the other thing that you don't understand. We get that you will fight until your last breath. We're not here to change that. And then, out of frame, you see him reach out a hand. And then when he pulls that hand back, he has a ball-peen hammer caked in blood. And he says, "I'm here to take your last breath." And then we cut back to Kat. You've been struggling for several days to find Vic. All of your leads have run dry at this point. What is the very last option that you have to see if you can save Vic before something goes wrong?
Cat pulls from the deck of reveries.
Okay, please give me a D99 roll.
What's an 80 get me, Brandon?
Ooh, 80. Let's see. Once the thing opens, open thing. Oh shit. Are you sure you're not actually psychic, Iori?
I keep telling people I'm a fortune teller, not a psychic.
Okay. So, um, you reach out for the deck of reveries, and you get a card. When it arrives in your hand, it is the black back of the card with gold inlay. And when you turn it over, you see a knife kicked in blood. This card is literally called the knife. What does the knife mean, Cat?
The knife does what the swords do in the tarot, except all of them at once, at extremely high velocity.
Oh no.
So it's like, yes, you are suffering. You are suffering in an extremely painful way. Your actions contributed to this suffering, which is not to say that you are at fault. But it does mean that, certainly you have made choices that brought you into the position for other people to hurt you. Very, very badly.
As you're looking at the card, just to check a thing for me in my brain, where are you right now, Kat, in this other timeline? Where is the physical location where you are?
Honestly, I think at this point, Kath is full on doing this on the street. She has not been home in a few days, not wearing makeup. These are 3 days ago. Those clothes.
Mm-hmm.
She looks extremely disheveled, starting to look kind of unhinged from lack of sleep.
You hear in this street, which is pristine, but you know that things are not going well on this street. Like, at this point, the conspiracy has ramped up to the point where anyone who is not actively suffering in their homes aren't living in their homes anymore. The street that you're living, the street that you're walking on is almost perfect silence. And you can hear very determined, very rapid footsteps gaining toward you.
Wait, Brandon, clarifying question. Did what we just did with the deck count as a gather info?
Oh yeah, it does.
Oops. We forgot that I have Oracle. You can see the myriad timelines leading from past to future. When you gather info, gain +1 effect. If it relates to your fated person, also take +1d.
Oh ho!
So, I don't know. Find a way to throw that in later since I blanked on that.
Oh no! All of these things are all of these things will become very useful as we continue. So I'm taking note.
Brilliant.
You have a +1d stored for a thing. That's how I'm gonna read that.
Okay.
So you hear footsteps gaining toward you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to respond to the footsteps gaining toward you?
I am going to invoke Rewind Return. I have played this little portion of the timeline at least once before, and I am flashing back to what it was last time. The conspiracy is closing in from both sides.
I love this so much. Okay. I'm this is going to seem like I'm being a terrible GM, but I trust you. I'm doing story things. You close your eyes and try to focus on the core of this timeline, so you may return to that point. And just as that happens, just as you feel yourself very slowly reversing to that prior point, you feel someone grip your forearm very tightly.
You know what? Why the fuck not? I'd like to use Saw It Coming, which this version of Cat hasn't used.
All of this is perfect. Please remind
You
me.
can expend your special armor to resist any consequence relating to surprise or misfortune, to be in two places at once, or perform some similar feat of time manipulation. So, I would like to say that there is a second cat approximately 3 feet away, and that cat is now attacking the one that just grabbed base cat.
I like how you put it that way. Because you open your eyes when this happens. First, describe second cat.
Second cat is not transcended. Second cat looks like, this cat looks at least 1 day less stressed and frazzled than current cat. That's a little weird, come to think of it.
Mm-hmm. Quite so. Something weirder still is about to happen.
Ooh-hoo-hoo.
You open your eyes, and the person that you are attempting to engage in conflict with is a third cat.
I
This
love
is
this.
a Spider-Man finger guns meme.
Yes, yes. I am having my Spider-Man moment.
This cat is wearing what would be a very pristine red sequined suit, except for the fact that it's very obvious that one of the sleeves has been very deeply cut, and has a scar running diagonally across Cat's lip. You have no idea what timeline this is from. This is the first time you're encountering any of this. Cat 3.
Hot future time skip me?
Yeah. Cat 3 goes, oh Jesus, and ducks whatever attack Cat 2 was about to deliver. And then turns back to you, Cat Prime, and goes, I don't have any time for this. Just know that this is the wrong one. And shoves you.
Okay.
You're supposed to go through a large sheet of glass behind you. But instead, you fall through the dream. This is what got you to this point. To the beginning of this story. This is how you found yourself here. And as you're looking through the torn, kind of frazzled shower curtains in this bathroom to look at Aisha, you see a card slip out of the glass of the broken foam of the deck of reveries. That card is the distorted lens, the exact same printed version of the distorted lens that you had picked up when you were in the dream the first time. And then another card slides out. It's the distorted lens again. Another one slips out. It's a distorted lens again. This keeps happening. Just cards are filing out of these broken shards of glass like single dollar bills out of a money counter. Um,
We are assembling a deck that is, oops, all distorted lens.
mhm. Um, Aisha is still glitching, by the way, like very visibly. Um, it doesn't seem to be causing her a great deal of pain, but it is really freaking her out. And
Ruth. Oh, sorry.
no, please go right ahead.
Uh, Ruth is going to basically pick his way out of the bathtub and then start speaking to her in like the very calm ICU nurse, everything is under control kind of way, just making sure that she mentally is present and then like to carefully usher out of the bathroom where all the broken glass is and then getting her to a place that is more comfortable. He's just very like, this is a crisis. I'm managing the crisis now. You can very much see that he's kind of fallen back into like that professional training that he left a very long time ago, but he's basically like locking down the situation, making sure everybody is calm, making sure everybody has a specific thing to do. Okay, we're all going to meet in the living room. All the blinds are shut and everything. No one's going to peek in and see any of this, but we're going to handle it. You're going to be okay.
How many dots do you have in empathize?
Hilariously, Ruth doesn't have any.
um,
Nina will assist in this. Nina has all the dots in empathize.
okay, cool. Um, unless there's another action that you think. I feel like the way that you've described that empathize obviously fits, but if there's another version of that in your brain, uh,
I think empathize is like as written, it should be empathize. I deliberately picked not to spec Ruth with empathize because it's been a good amount of time, and also he's just so burned out as a caregiver for many, many reasons. So like this is playing out as I kind of expected.
okay,
Um, so I do expect to either push for this or to have a poison promise for this, especially considering that we are in the presence of so much dream magic. Maybe there is a bargain that he takes with Ruthless again for making this happen.
okay. Noting all of these things. Nina, you said that you would assist.
Yeah, seeing what Ruth is trying to accomplish, Nina will also attempt to reinforce basically what Ruth is doing in the kind of like, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. Not that they're necessarily lying per se, because I don't know what Ruth is doing exactly there, but that very calm, like, we're gonna figure this out. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of the bathroom.
Okay.
You you are also the one who kind of let her out of the dream, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
Nina's feeling really conflicted about that right now because this is definitely a lot.
indeed. I would like you to take one stress for that. Um, Ruth, I do have a poison promise.
what is this poison promise?
Um, do you think your avatar likes it when you are uh comforting people in situations like these?
I think so, because Ruthless views Ruth as the softer half of the two of them. Not necessarily the weaker half, but the softer half.
Mm-hmm.
So when Ruth is doing what, in a sense, he kind of felt called to do before the trauma got to him, Ruthless is pleased because it's like, okay, so the softer half of us is fulfilling his function. Whereas when I step forward and I do terrible things, I'm fulfilling my function. Problems happen when Ruth thinks he can do the work of both of us, and then I have to put him back in line. But now you're doing what you're supposed to, so everything is okay.
Ah, okay, cool. Um, here's your poison promise. You begin to sense a strong, undescribable feeling from within that you know is tied to Ruthless, that is linked in some way to your decision to calm Aisha in this moment. I will make a clock, but not tick it, saying, but and the title of this clock is "You Don't Need Me Right Now." It's a 4 clock. If it ever becomes full, you will have to uh, essentially placate Ruthless in order to transcend.
I think that plays into their dynamic pretty well. I'll take that.
Okay, noted. So yeah, you can now roll empathize with 2 dice.
Okay, what's my position?
Your position is risky, and your effect is extreme. Your effect is extreme.
Okay. Risky, extreme, empathize. Roll 2d6. I hope this is correct. Oh, in unrecognized command. Okay. Let's try that again. Risky, extreme. Empathize.
You should
Roll
roll
2.
separately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That command apparently cannot work with any other text.
Okay. No, that's 2 1s.
Big yike.
Big yikes.
Okay. Noted. Good geez.
We're not doing well today, folks.
Aisha wasn't really panicking before, but she's panicking now, and it's making the glitching worse. Very briefly, it seems as if when Aisha is speaking, she's no longer speaking any present human language. Yeah, it's this is just not working out the way that it's supposed to work out. While that's happening, who has Rustum Demir's phone?
That's Vic.
Vic, are you still in? Are you still in the? Are you still in the shower?
Vic has stepped out and sat down somewhere, holding both their own and Rustum Demir's phone, having pulled out like equivalent of a lightning cable to hook up their phone to Rustum Demir's phone. And there is simultaneously a data transfer going, and Vic is scanning Demir's phone for like basically high priority or high danger emails, assets, or something else.
Aha. You should gather information.
Hacker voice, I have the phone.
What do you want to roll to gather information about the phone?
I mean, I have more in perceive, but I feel like analyze is going to be more effective here.
Okay, please give me an analyze roll.
So the way that I'm framing it, I feel like the plus effect from watchful should apply when you gather info to anticipate possible threats. But I only have 1 in that, and Vic is a helper protector spec. So when I have to do things on my own, it's a little bit more difficult. Is there a poison promise available here?
I mean, there is. If you take this poison promise, you become aware, because this is a thing that you are trained to be aware of, that the phone is actively being tracked. There will be a 6 clock. It's not going to be that. Yeah, it should be 6, shouldn't it? The conspiracy knows where we are. It won't tick immediately, but every time that you interact with the phone, I will like there will be a complication that will lead to it potentially ticking up.
Okay. That is fine by me. We're racing toward endgame, so let's go. What is my position and effect in doing this gather info on the phone?
Your position is controlled, and your effect is great.
Okay, and that is after my bonus?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I got a 2 and a 4. And when you get a 4 on a controlled roll, you can push to risky and re-roll.
Is that a thing that you want to do?
So I can either push to risky and re-roll, I can take a 4 with a controlled consequence, or I can back out and try a different action. What do we think, folks?
Do it, do it.
I have another poison promise for you. So now I know how this is going to materialize. Every time you interact with the phone, you will get another poison promise, which is the tick.
Okay. So my understanding of the rules is that if you push to risky, you keep your dice pool.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to know if you want another
one. another one. I mean, statistically, that would be great because I would love to get a 6 here.
Mm-hmm.
But this is controlled. So a controlled consequence is not very much. What do we think, folks? Double or nothing, or play it as is?
What would
What's
Vic
life
do?
without a little risk?
What would Vic do?
What would Vic
knowing
do?
that somebody, like, there is a very panicked dream child glitching out in the bathroom?
Yeah, I feel like
under these circumstances, would Vic hold on to where they are right now, or would Vic be like, okay, we really need to
because I think one of the things that I could theoretically get from this roll is specific evidence that Demir is being blackmailed by the conspiracy, which would let us smash cut to a scene with Demir.
Mm-hmm. That would be very useful.
So yeah, I think Vic is like, tap, 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 tap. And he just gets so many emails. And Vic reads very fast and is very good at parsing information, but has to basically use less encryption and be less careful to get through things faster. As the kind of tension in the room is rising with Aisha flickering more. So I'm going to re-roll at risky.
Mm-hmm.
Can I assist?
I mean, you can.
My assist basically is that Ruth sees that he is kind of scaring the child, and the child seems to be connecting with Nina a bit more, so he quietly asks Nina to take point on talking to her and passes the notes on Aisha's condition to Vix, just so that Vic has more keywords on tell me if there's something that we can use to help calm her down.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that's my framing of the assist. So you get an extra dice.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So that's up to 3 right now, and you're taking the poison promise as well?
Yes, because I would really love to get a crit here.
So that means that you're up to 4 dice, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, cool. This clock is at 1 of 6.
Dear John Harper, God of scoundrels, please be with me in this time of my need. 3511. Well, I still get a mixed hit.
5 is good. This phone was locked. The hint for the password for this phone was something that Euphony said Rustum would know. And then you realize, nope, that's not it. You have no idea what Rustum knows. But on a lark, as you just randomly try anything to sign into this phone, you only realize after you've unlocked it that the numerical code that you put in was Euphony's birthday. And then it dawns on you, totally as an aside, whether Rustam knew that was immaterial, Rustam left that hint for y'all. And now you unlock it. Now you unlock Rustam's phone. You have access to his contacts. You have access to his emails. The thing that is already on screen when you unlock the phone is a text chain that Rustam was having with someone who does not have a name in his phone book. It's just an emoji of the evil eye.
Okay, cool.
Subtle.
The texts in this thread are some of the most hostile you've ever seen. Someone is essentially telling Rustam that he has a responsibility to ensure that things take place on time, that the I program is almost finished, and he should be dedicating all of his waking moments to completing it. At which he is essentially pleading for patience, insisting that he and his team is being run ragged, attempting to placate this other person by saying, if we don't take our time and do this to the best of our possible ability, then it has the potential to break down, and that would be bad for all of us. But this person is insistent regardless. Get it done. We know what we're doing. Just make sure that the thing is complete.
So Vic is like processing this information, and then turns to Kat, maybe as Nina is kind of consoling Aisha. So I think the best thing for her is going to be getting to Rustam, but we need to do it in a way that the conspiracy isn't then going to grab her. It looks like Demir's being pressured to send the I program to release, which I'm guessing is the metastasis or apotheosis of the conspiracy / the dream. The question is, how directly do we want to address this? Because I can just email him saying, time, place, we have Aisha, and we want you on our side against the conspiracy.
I feel like it's very, very to misinterpret an email like that as, hi, we're the villains.
That's like, fair. I would write a slightly longer email than that.
Yes. I just, See, the thing I keep getting stuck on is that there's like no innocuous way to be like, hi, we have your sister. That's always threatening. Like,
we rescued your sister from the prison you put her in because now you have options.
Suddenly, two things happen.
That's slightly better. That's tactful, yeah.
Suddenly, two things happen at the exact same time. Vic, Rustam's phone rings from an unknown number. Nina, the apartment, someone is knocking on the apartment door at the exact same
time. Ruth ushers everybody, including the glitching dream child, into a space where they cannot be seen from the front door.
They can't be seen from the bedroom, even if the door is open.
Okay. But basically, Ruth is making sure they're all secure, nobody can be seen, and for the party, he had put on basically a reprogrammed version of his cage mask to cover up the fact that he has very extensive facial scarring. So before he opens the door, he peels that off. So he looks like his usual terrifying, extremely grumpy self again, and checks the keyhole. Or the... You know what I mean.
Yes. On the other side of the door is another glitch. You can't make out who this person is. You are seeing piles of snow, and then a very large bonfire, and then a large Polaroid picture of a tree with the caption, "Why did I take a photo of this tree?" Um, if you look very, very long enough, you will notice it's Siobhan?
Well, uh, Ruth takes a moment, thinks to Ruthless, be nice now, and opens the door.
Uh, while that's happening, Vic, what are you doing with the phone? Just to make sure that that's also happening.
Vic has pressed record on their own phone, turned the phone onto speaker, and is going to answer using it's not voice modulation, it's just them shifting their voice to be not as recognizable, and answers, "Hello."
So, um, Vic, the voice that you hear is very obviously perturbed, seems intensely worried, and is whispering for some reason, but you know that it's Rustum Demir. Ruth, as you open the door, Siobhan stumbles in, and it's obvious in this moment that Siobhan may be actually in a great deal of pain, and only for the purposes of the audience, because I'm indulgent like that. In unison, both of them say, respectfully, "What the hell did you do?"
Okay,
I
so
wanna go with
rival,
Ruth
what are we
first.
saying together?
Aisha is safe, but she needs help.
Ruth says dream shit.
Okay, cool. Um, I'm gonna go with Ruth first. Siobhan is obviously attempting to exert a great deal of force of will to maintain her own body, and it's working, but only barely. Uh, and uh, she looks you dead in the eye and goes, "Where the hell are your friends? Y'all need to fix this now."
Do you have a to-do list?
Putting the girl back would be a good place to start. This wasn't supposed to. Where's. Where's Vic?
Ruth, upon hearing that the solution to all of this is putting a kidnapped child back into the kidnap bubble, reaches out, takes the collar of whatever manifestation Siobhan happens to be in, lifts her up, and puts their faces very close. And even when she's a bonfire, he doesn't give a fuck. And he says, "This isn't some the ones who walk from Omelas bullshit."
I never read that, you know.
It shows.
Let's cut very quickly back to Vic.
So still in not their own voice, Vic says, "We rescued Aisha. She's safe, but she needs you. You don't have to be beholden to the evil eye emoji anymore.
But
You know that doing what they want is going to hurt a lot of people, and now you have options."
But you don't get it. The dream, I don't know what it is with Aisha, but the dream was responsible for her still being here. I don't even know what's gonna happen to her now that you've, I don't know, tried to force corporeality. Like, it wasn't it wasn't a good state to be in, but at least they were monitoring her. At least I got to work on an answer to the question. Now I don't get to do that. Now they're looking for her and they think this was my plan I need to put this right before it gets messy. Before
Rustum, it's been messy. You've made mess up and down the coastline, all around this city. And I get making a mess for love.
But I was taking my time. They didn't need to know that I was stalling. Now it looks like it looks like I was stalling for you all to plan a rescue mission. They're literally coming for me now. They're coming for you too if you didn't figure that part out.
They've always been coming for me, Demir. I don't have your privileges.
Oh my. Do you know what?
Here's what we're gonna do. And I want to call a scene frame cut to meeting with Demir.
Cool.
Or from my side of the conversation, I don't want to cut Ruth Siobhan short.
So we're gonna stick a pin in this, and then I'm going to qualify a thing. But let's cut back to Ruth.
I'm going to say also that Ruth says this little thing, makes a scathing indictment of Siobhan's education, which is hilarious because Siobhan is also a teacher. And then just as Vic drops that little scathing indictment of Demir's moral character, he opens the door with Siobhan in tow and says, "They want us to do fucked up shit, Vic." And then from there we can like smash to the meeting with Demir.
Beautiful.
So this is what I will say, because y'all need social links too very badly. Rustum Demir has set up a meeting. You will essentially be picked up surreptitiously to meet him at the worst of the two parks in Cloud Harbor at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Which means that you all still have the next day to first go to work, which we're going to handle very briefly. Vic, do you go to work?
I don't think so. I think Vic, maybe depending on obligation role, either burns PTO or uses PTO they don't have.
I'm gonna say you had the PTO. It would be fair. It would be unfair if you didn't. Even in the dystopia, you need your vacation days. So where are you at like 10 o'clock in the morning?
Vic is doing mastermind shit, building a double cross for Demir to lure out the host.
Okay.
Which is basically contacting revolutionaries, spreading around information on Demir's phone to create fallback plans of like, okay, if we get screwed over, the fight continues. Here's stuff that people would need to know about what Demir's company is doing. And so I think they are parallel track disseminating information in case this mission fails, and setting things up so that this mission won't fail.
Cool. I would like you to give me your obligation roll
now. So I have 3, 2, 2. So I think this is probably still going to be stars because that's what I've been rolling. Roll 2d6. I got a 3 and a 1, so I will take on 3 stress. Sounds about right.
Okay. You are on the phone with one of your comrades when you hear gunfire on the other end of the line. They're like, "Oh shit," and then you don't hear anything from them for a good long while. And then you hear breathlessness as if they're running with the phone, but they still don't ever actually reply to any of your statements. And then after maybe a minute and a half of lots of gunfire, they pick up the phone and they go, Vic?
I'm here.
I need to go. I think you need to lay low. They found us somehow. I think I'm the only person here. I need to get out. I need to get out of here. I will call you. Don't. I trust you. Don't call this number again.
Remember the strawberry sundae, and that's code for here is the safe house to fall back to.
I was in the mood for that too. Keep strong. And they hang up. Later in the news, you hear gang-related activity being busted up by the police, and that 20 or so gang members have lost their lives in this skirmish. You know that to be the majority of the people who were stationed at that building.
Yeah, that's a not insignificant percentage of kind of active revolutionary agents in this city, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Nina, do you go to work?
Oh my god, I don't know. I think if she doesn't go to work, so here's okay. I'm gonna rope Kat in on this one. I'm sorry that I'm gonna sort of make a scene out of this. I'm gonna try to keep it short, but I think Nina is gonna be like on the verge of calling in sick. But does Kat know of times when like this hasn't happened before? We're in unprecedented territory, I believe, more or less. But have there been other timelines where Nina called in sick and got fired such that Kat would be like, absolutely not? Or timelines where Nina didn't call in sick and something bad happened when she went into work? Because I feel like I'm interested to know if Kat would try to stop her either way.
I think Kat would try to stop Nina from going into work. Like, we're essentially at war with Dreamshine right now. Please do not walk into their office. Remember the bit where you have to, like, badge out to leave? They're gonna Hotel California you. Please don't.
But if I'm there, maybe I can help
Nina?
do something.
Nina, I feel like at the end of this, how do I say this? Please do not count on a long-term career at the evil corporation trying actively to kill us.
I know. I mean,
you know what? We're getting on a new dystopian LinkedIn right now.
But
We're
if
going to talk to some recruiters today.
If I don't go, am I being a coward?
You're being not kidnapped. Is not kidnapped a coward thing? Vic is not getting kidnapped cowardly.
If Vic is there, then Vic's response is, It is always virtuous to survive to fight another day.
Thank you.
Okay.
While this is happening, Nina, you get a notification on your phone that morning.
Okay.
It's,
She would have called in sick then at the advice of her friends.
Mhm. The notification is that a package has arrived at your home for you to pick up.
Was she
Please
expecting a package?
Nope. Now give me your obligation roll.
Okay. I've actually completely forgot what obligation is. It's just a D6, right?
How many actions do you have in your lowest attribute?
Hold on. I have the wrong file open. 0, I guess, because my dot in conceal is a transcendent dot.
Oh ho. So what attribute is that?
I mean, it's stars. I have nothing in stars.
Right, cool. Please roll 2d6 for me.
Okay. It's a 4 and a 6.
Wow. So because you'll have to take the lesser result, you still take 2 stress?
And we have not reset stress, or this is the resetting of the stress, and now I have, okay.
No, yeah. You get back to your apartment, and there is a cylindrical package waiting for you on your doorstep.
Do not open the pipe bomb.
I was gonna say, did anybody come with me, or am I alone?
I feel like at this point the group would have a buddy system going on.
That is sort of my impulse as well. Who would be with me, Kat, Ruth, or Vic? Vic is otherwise occupied, I think, so it's probably got to be Kat or Ruth.
Definitely Kat.
All right.
Ruth, are you with us?
I think Ruth's got to be watching Aisha and Chiffon, potentially. Somebody's got to be with them too.
Babysitting.
I can't believe this.
Yeah, that's its own scene. I'm just picturing Ruth sitting on the couch in between 2 glitching people trying to watch soaps.
He has sunglasses on because he's autistic and this is hurting him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruth has instructed them not to talk during his stories.
Anyway, so the package.
So are you going to open it or not?
Yeah, no. Let's not. Hang on. Is Nina's doorstep like street facing? Is this an apartment with like a hallway?
No, Nina lives in an efficiency behind somebody's house. It's essentially like a side room that somebody rents out that has like a kitchenette in it and a bathroom.
Like a converted garage with HVAC?
Basically, yeah, like a converted garage, essentially. Yep. So, yes.
Nina, open the door real quick.
Okay. Nina opens the door.
Kat reaches in, grabs one of Nina's umbrellas out of the stand, uses it like a golf club to wham the cylindrical package into the street.
Ah!
It rolls into the street, nothing happens. It rolls as if it is remarkably light.
Let's just leave that, and that can be someone else's problem.
But who is it from, though? Did I see who it was from before she punted it? Did it have a name on it besides my name?
It didn't have a name or return address on it.
But what if it's something important? What if we need that for something?
I can't think of any possible scenario in which we need to be blown up. Better safe than sorry.
What if it's from like somebody that's trying to help us?
Then they should learn to put a fucking return address on their pipe bombs.
It can't be a pipe bomb, right? It just kind of wafted.
For all we know, it's time activated.
Often was the word of the day on Merriam-Webster.com.
I like this. So yeah.
Wait a minute,
that-
but then it could hurt somebody else.
This is a compelling argument. It is, however, not very high on my priority list today.
So here's a question. What happens if you stuff a potentially a pipe bomb through a chunk of glass into open dream space?
Ay, ay, ay. Sounds very bad. Is anything else weird in Nina's house, or is that the only weird thing? Is this new package that has arrived?
No, yeah, just a package. So, to be absolutely positively sure, you're not opening the package, yes?
I'm just picturing that it's from the deck of reveries, and it's a card the cat has sent back and has placed it on Nina's doorstep, and then we're gonna miss out on an important clue. That's me out of character, though, not me in character. I'm just like, this has so much potential to be either a terrible thing
No.
or.
But future Cat would remember past Cat punting this thing away because of how suspicious it is. So future Cat would have to be smarter and find a different delivery method.
All right, sounds good.
Also, Future Cat literally sent Present Cat a Polaroid of her own middle finger held up in a big ol' fuck you, and that does not strike me as the personality of someone who mails a potential pipe bomb to you.
Yeah, this package will return. It will boomerang, I suspect, if we definitely need it. So, okay. Going with Cat's impulse to not open the package.
Cool. Duly noted. Ruth, do you go to work today? At all?
Is
Do you even
anybody
stop
looking
in?
after Aisha and Siobhan? What is the situation with those two?
I'm sure if you wanted to take turns, you could ask somebody to fill in afterward.
Another thing too is, are we now hiding out at Vic's place? Because we all know now that the conspiracy, or conspiracy members at least, know where Ruth lives.
Maybe we're hiding out at Key Lime Pie, another safe house.
I love these names so much.
Okay, so if we're all hiding out at the safe house, Ruth is going to have brought things there just to make sure everybody can be tided over. And he'll go to work, assuming that everybody else is at the safe house watching our new visual glitches, I guess.
Buddy system, somebody would have to go with Ruth.
I hate Vic, so Vic is coming, right?
Yeah, of course.
I have to I think Vic has to leave something at a dead drop for a comrade on the way.
Ruth is really pissy about it. Like, Vic is following him out, and Ruth says Ruth got really snippy about him following along, and Vic said, "No, we're just going in the same direction of a place at the same time."
Okay.
But yeah, Ruth goes to work.
Please give me your obligation roll now.
My lowest stat is in Moon, which is consequences of despair. So that's a 3. So I take 3 stress.
The minute that you are on the corner with Monsieur and Roses, you notice that Edna is being arrested. Two very burly, very silent police officers are escorting Edna out of the building in handcuffs. And what's her name again? Madeline Vargas, the reporter who covered the last shenanigans that Monsieur and Roses was wrapped up in, is very eagerly front and center with her cameraman, documenting the entire scene. Um, you get the impression that um, while the actual report that you're hearing Vargas deliver on the to the camera is presumably neutral, you get the impression that once Madeline notices that you are there, she seems kind of pleased that this is happening.
I don't care about her. Um, of the two police people, is one of them the policeman that I saw in our first session,
No.
accosting the owners? Okay.
Mm-mm. But one of them looks to be the exact same age.
Okay. Um, do they have their badges with them? Does it look to be like above board, basically?
Hmm.
Okay.
They seem to be performing the thing. Edna walks past you and says, I'm sure this is nothing. Please make sure that things are still in order at the shop. I'll sort this misunderstanding out at some point.
Ruth, Ruth nods.
Mhm. When you turn to the door, you notice that Kenneth is trying to usher you into the shop. He seems like he
Well,
has been crying for most of the day.
oh no. Okay, so I go into the shop. Here I go.
He proceeds to tell you that uh, Edna is being arrested for assaulting the officer that you previously met. Um, and they claim that it happened last night, even though Edna and Kenneth spent the entire night together and never saw the guy. Um, but said police officers apparently presented a police report that includes a very grievous wound to the face that he says he got from a glass bottle that Edna hit him in the head with. Um, so yeah, that's a thing that's happening.
Great.
Work continues as normal with mild interruptions from nearby news crews.
Um, I will say that at the end of the day, when I leave, I take a personal item of Edna's from the office, home with me.
What do you take?
Um, I think she really liked those little gachapon uh desk standees of cute little animals or plants with faces on them in ways that Ruth finds actually very disturbing. Um, so he just takes one of those and brings that home with him.
Okay. Cat, do you go to work?
Kat was never going to go to work in the first place because Kat's smart enough to call out after, like, to already have scheduled so that she is not going to work the day after this stupid party.
Okay. Where are you right now?
Kat is at the safe house after having accompanied Nina. Because with Ruth going to work, someone needs to be on babysitting duty, apparently.
Sorry, Kat.
Kat is 100% the worst person for this. But she also has like 3 colors of nail polish rattling around in the bottom of her purse for emergency touch-ups, and she is using those now to do Aisha's nails while Aisha's just glitching in and out of reality. And like,
I mean,
chatting. Kat is trying aggressively to be normal about this. A thing which is like, normal to want, impossible to achieve.
um, I will say very idly, the secondary side effect of you attempting to do this to someone who is presently glitching out of reality is your what color of nail polish are you applying?
Aisha wanted all of them. Kat is doing this weird alternating French tip deal. In 2 shades of pink and 1 of purple.
Every time Aisha returns to her normal corporeal form, one of the nails that you have already completed now smells like each of those nails each smells like a new different fruit. Yeah, nice pleasant side
It's
effect.
not how it was
shenanigans.
supposed to happen, but this is so much better than regular nail polish scent. Kat also stopped at the konbini on the way over and just got like loads of snacks.
This is like
So
those
we are having a
markers I used to
chips party and
smell.
stuff.
Nice. Is there
I
a TV
love-
in the safe house?
Vic?
Is...
Yeah, so I have a proposed location for the safe house. I put it in chat, but I can say it so that we get it on tape. So I think Key Lime Pie is the offices of Give Time, a shuttered mutual aid crowdfunding tech startup that was renting out an unfinished floor of a now abandoned skyscraper that was turned into a tax write-off when Arbite, spelled ARBYTE, merged with Allmat, a heavy material / real estate company. So it would have TV, there's bathrooms, and then there are several levels above it that have open sides, like the top levels of Nakatomi Plaza in Die Hard.
Nice, cool. So that means if this was a tech startup's former office, that means it has flat screens in it still. Somebody didn't come to claim any of the hardware in this space. Cool. What is your lowest attribute, Kat?
Sun and Moon are tied for lowest actually, because but I think if it comes down to it, wait, no, yeah, they're tied.
Okay.
Man, I don't have dots in anything. Holy good goddamn! How are we this close to endgame and my character is still this flimsy and weak?
I mean,
you do balance because you have the playbook stuff instead of the dots.
Yeah.
Because Ruth's the opposite. He has all dots but no special abilities.
How to build a glass cannon.
So which of these 2 attributes will you roll then?
Is this a sun or a moon moment? I feel like this is a moon kind of moment.
Cool.
So let's see. Lowest attribute. How many dice am I rolling here?
So you said you had no dots?
No, I have 2 dots in moon, but 1 is a regular dot and 1 is a transcendent dot. How's that gonna count?
Oh, yeah, that's 1.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. That's a 5.
Okay, you only get 1 stress. Nice.
Fantastic.
And
I think that specifically that stress is coming from trying to be cheery and normal.
Which makes what's about
and
to
like
happen
just
remarkably awkward.
she is trying so hard to set everyone at ease.
Your phone buzzes. When you
She has a mouthful of shrimp chip.
When you look at your phone, you notice that it is in fact a very long and very hostile email from Emily about whether Somnio is about to close, whether you have not been fulfilling your responsibility in maintaining Somnio. Like just unnecessarily aggressive given the fact that your relationship had never been this immediately hostile before. how do you respond to the email?
You know what? Cat specifically is not scheduled today. Cat doesn't. When the little pop-up for this red notification comes up, she hits no.
Okay.
That can sit until, well, she's on the clock because, goddamn it, like, Somnia's an okay job. Somnia was hourly.
So this happens. All of your work days, well, the work days for the people who actually went to work come to an end. Around 2 o'clock, you have roughly 4 hours until your meeting with Rastam Demir. You all have downtime available. What do you all do?
I think at least one of Ruth's actions should be spent with Vic doing research into Aisha's history, because Ruth had the notes on the medical stuff, and Vic still has the phone, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, we do a little medical history investigation, a little dive into, let's see where she has been treated, who treated her, all of that kind of stuff. Wow, Ruth is really pulling in his medical weight here.
Yeah, I think Vic has the skills to hack into the system. Ruth has the skills to navigate the probably incredibly Byzantine medical record system.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for Ruth, it's actually quite fun doing a research project with Vic. So shall I roll for that, or would you like to roll for that? Because I think between the two of us, either could work, question mark?
I was planning on investigating as one of my roles as well, so we could do one scene, two roles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How does investigation work here again? Right, we roll with the stat, correct? Or is it just a generic
Pick an action.
investigation? Yeah.
But surveillance gives us -1d to investigate until all are identified and overseer is confronted.
Oh, well, doesn't that suck? How's your analyzed?
I have 1 in analyze. I forget if we get free assists if we're PCs helping one another with these actions the way that you do in Blades. If not, I'm happy to give a normal assist.
Well, there is a series ability for this, which we do need to take. There is looking for answers. Gain a +1d when you investigate. If a lead turns out to be a dead end, mark series XP. So we could take that if we wanted.
It certainly would help here.
But there's also a moment of crisis when factoring your engagement roll. If you answer yes to does this mission determine the fate of a friend, gain +2d instead of +1d. So do we want to use this for investigation, or do we want to save this for the mission? Question mark.
I think investigation makes sense in terms of like what would we have gained ground on
Okay.
since the last mission.
Okay. Is the rest of the group okay with us taking that?
I think that makes sense.
Okay. Okay, so that means my 1 analyze becomes just a regular 1 analyze because it's +1d but then -1d. So
Okay.
yeah. So rolling 1d6 investigation. That's a 2 for me.
Aha.
We are not doing good.
But that's still 2, right? Because it's
Mhm.
1 plus the 1, 2, 3 result level.
Yep.
Mhm. Okay. Things that you know about Aisha Demir. Aisha Demir is somewhere in her teens. Um, if you ask Aisha herself, she will struggle to be able to tell you. But according to news media, like some magazine interviews that Rustam has done, etc., Aisha fell ill around 11 or 12 years old. Um, like found herself in this very peculiar situation where um, she experienced what should have been a case of narcolepsy and hasn't woken up since. Um, that took place roughly 5.5 to 6 years ago. At which point you realize that the Aisha Demir that you've been speaking to for the longest while still looks 12. Um, which means that there is a matter of her actual physical body that probably needs to be addressed at some point. Um, there are like some very weird, very conspiratorial blogs that have gone all the way into digging deeply into Aisha's medical history, which confirms that an all new um, neurosomatic disorder called coma facientis has been created to describe um, Aisha's mental state. Because according to tests from at least one of the more superior medical facilities in Cloud Harbor, um, Aisha is not merely still awake, but is experiencing a level of brain function that is on some on some metrics beyond that of most waking humans. Um, they have essentially confirmed that um, parts of the brain that are responsible for like registering dream states are constantly active, but are interacting with parts of the brain that aren't supposed to be interacting with during REM sleep in ways that lead those doctors to presume that when Aisha is dreaming, she is also doing something or thinking about doing something at a level of mental activity that is higher than when adults are stimulated or have a future gratification in line with completing the task. Aisha is just active on a level that the rest of us have to work very hard to be active for. And nobody knows what that means. Or if there's an answer as to how that's going to help them wake her up.
So should I go ahead and make my roll and then we can kind of build on that?
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay. So I think Vic's part of this looks more like I think I think Vic is going to go wide rather than deep. And I'm going to roll perceive to go broadly and find stuff to then kind of chew on by looking at all every condition that we can find and patient that we can find with either that condition or something related to sleepwalking, narcolepsy, anything else to do with REM sleep, because Vic has connected the dots between REM sleep and vivid dreaming as a vector along which kind of the dream conspiracy would have been acting, given the information that Ruth is able to process. And so I want, basically Vic is trying to pull back and see the bigger picture.
As an additional data point, Ruth will also give you one particular patient that he doesn't say where he got the file from, but basically it's Sarah.
Yeah.
From the previous session.
Mm-hmm.
So he just kind of gives that over unprompted and doesn't explain it.
Okay. Yep. Cool. So I'm going to roll perceive here, and we will lose a die, and I will lose a die and then gain a die. So I'm going to be rolling 2d6. Okay, I got a 6. So that is 4 ticks, I believe, which will fill tier 2 and put us 1 tick into tier 3. So we will have tier 2 for the engagement roll at least.
Okay, good
So
God.
Brandon, tell me about the big picture.
So, Aishidamir is the only case of coma facientis in the world where someone is in a permanent coma with this level of increased brainwave activity. As a result, she is the only patient of coma facientis ever documented in the history of medicine. No one ever thought about it beyond that point. Briefly, while skimming through other related cases, you notice a couple things. You come across the names of a handful of people who you know have been in fights with Dice Calendrine. And Ruth, you notice as a result, that all of them on the night that you last fought Dice in the ring weren't present. And you remember like vague chatter about some of them having been there or been on their way there and not actually arriving. All of them have medical records for the night of that fight showing brainwave results that are in line with coma facientis for 4 hours and then recovering and then being discharged from the hospital.
I'm going to kill him.
You notice, Ruth, you notice there is a medical record for Dice for the night that you were attacked by Siobhan. That shows Dice experiencing coma facientis for 6.5 hours.
I'm still killing him.
Fair. You check the MRI from when you scanned Siobhan. Even though you only had Siobhan in that MRI for maybe 4 or 5 hours, it's showing a level of engagement with the symptoms of coma facientis that typically take 2 to 3 hours to like fully form at that level. Siobhan had those results immediately.
So I think in character, like, they're kind of reading stuff and talking back and forth. And Vic asks, so does this condition result from an attack by the conspiracy, or is the condition, the vector of the attack itself, the method of the attack. I think you'd know better than I, based on what we've seen.
Can I roll analyze to
Uh,
figure
'cause-
that out?
I can give you this for free because it is 6. Your base conclusion, I mean, an assumption that you can make right now based on the evidence that you've already gotten, is that every other case but Aisha, some manner of trauma occurred at that moment, which could, especially like actual physical assault. So it's possible that they were rendered unconscious, and the end result was something was done to them while they were unconscious that triggered coma facientis. But they also woke up, so we don't know. Rather, while you are not capable of being sure in this moment without more data, it stands to reason based on the information that you've already received that everyone but Aisha became unconscious, experienced something during unconsciousness that triggered coma facientis, and then woke up. And the only real evidence the only real thing to support what may have woken them up as a result is everyone who was assaulted by Dice and Dice himself all discharged from the hospital roughly 50 minutes to an hour and a half after you all left first Dice's dream and then Siobhan's dream. You have no data for Siobhan because Siobhan was in a pod when she woke up. So yeah. Something's happening in their heads. And it has something to do with the dream. Comparing this information to Aisha, by the way, doesn't present any conclusions about Aisha herself. Whatever happened to Aisha is unique.
Cool. I think I'm going to want to do a social links roll with Ruth, but I'm happy to come back around to it.
Yeah, we could swing a couple. Let's let Nina and Kat do things first. Kat, do you want to do a thing?
I think Kat and Nina are going to need to have like a moment.
A moment. Is this a
Oh Lord.
thing?
All my social links reset after the last mission. I need to delete some of these markings. Sorry, hang on.
Yeah, Nina is definitely going to social link with everyone, possibly simultaneously again for the sake of efficiency.
Cannot wait until these are form fillable sheets. Oh my gosh. Drawing the little circles on there has been. But yeah, I think Kat is finally like, Nina, I know capitalism is terrible, but I think we need to have a talk about priorities. I know you feel like you don't have the resources to take care of you, but this morning you very seriously considered going into the building of the company that is very much trying to kill us. And just, what, working 10 hours of a shift? Like, this isn't a healthy way to look at things, and I am genuinely kind of worried about you. This is not an intervention, by the way. I would not have brought shrimp crackers to an intervention.
They're really good, though.
They are. They're fantastic.
I think that Nina will share this intimate moment. Yes. Like, all of you are always doing important stuff, and I just have jobs. It feels like, what am I even if I don't go to work, you know? And I know they don't care about me at the job. I know they don't like me. They get my name wrong a lot, especially in emails. One time I got a write-up with my name wrong on it. This isn't making this better. I don't feel better about this. This is terrible. Why?
Yeah, it is.
But what else can I do?
I mean, capitalism, right? But I think we have to believe that there is a baseline level of dignity that we all deserve. And I know you're super tired and everything, and you're always busy, but you know, assuming we don't all get ourselves murdered in the next week, I am totally committing my free time to getting you a different, better job where they at least remember your name.
And don't throw things at me. Like that sign flipping job I had that one time.
A lot of that was the general public, though. That is something that is a little harder to control for.
And I kept dropping the sign. I wasn't very good at flipping it.
It was longer than you're tall. I think you get a pass.
But this guy, Jeff, was really good at it, and he was shorter than me, which is saying a lot.
Is that the Jeff who you told me had all those wild stories about stuff he did in high school color guard?
Yeah.
Does it occur to you that perhaps Jeff has specialized training that makes him uniquely suited to sign spinning?
He was really good at marching, too. I should have joined the color guard.
No. No. Would you really have been happy doing that?
No, their
Spending
skirts
all
were
that
so
money.
short, so short. It's so not good.
Spending $300 on the tiniest spandex costume ever, and then spinning a wooden rifle for 6 hours in the blazing sun?
I like the sun.
Okay, see, this is a start. We can think about things you like. And you know, start looking for things that suit the things you like. I think lately I've been kind of distracted with all this stuff, and I haven't been paying as much attention to what's going on with you as I should have, and I'm sorry for that.
God, you're my friend, not my mom.
Well, yeah, God, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get as well preserved as your mom. What kind of moisturizer does she use?
Lard. Just lard. She puts it in the bread, too.
Okay, see. I will never look as good as your mom because I'm scared of my pillowcase smelling like bacon in the mornings.
My dad loves it.
None of us needed to know that.
Please tell me this scene is done. Please tell me this.
Ruth just like looks up from the analysis to say that.
Oh, God.
He would. I'm sorry, I ruined the moment.
No, it's perfect. It's the perfect end to that scene. Thank you.
Oh, Lord.
No, I think the end of that scene is Kat standing up with a shrimp chip in hand, marching over to Ruth and just pushing it into his mouth. Hush, you.
So, Kat, you now need to roll. What action are you rolling for this intimate moment?
What do I have dots in? Express! I have 1 dot in Express.
Express works, and now you get +1D because Nina.
That
wants
was
to
definitely
the
expressing how
Mhm.
she believes Nina needs a different job and to value herself more. So
We have a 3 and a 3.
So if I am not mistaken, That's right. Two. Cool. So, um, you have two. Kat has two links with Nina, but Nina gets to decide how they're split.
Yeah, and the thing is that Nina does have um Believe in Me, which is links on your sheet and links with you on other players' sheets may be spent to affect any character. So it kind of doesn't
Ooh.
matter who has these links, because either of us can spend them on anyone, which
Brilliant.
is kind of magical.
How shall we allocate?
So let's just do one and one, I guess.
Sounds good.
Cool. So now that everybody's that was Kat's intimate moment. So Nina still has to still has two actions, two downtime actions. So is there a thing that you'd like to do first before we make the rounds again?
Well, I have to tell Wash that Iori loves him because he's very loud right now. He he wants pets, and I'm sorry, he is too heavy to sit on my lap. It's just I don't have room here. But he is cranky and wants everyone to know that. Um, I'm going to, if you will allow it, once again, just try to do, excuse me, a simultaneous intimate moment with everybody else because then I'm gonna count it. I'm just gonna do all three roles at once, basically, but in one scene, and that will take care of all of my things because I get three.
You know what? We're in the end game now, as Doctor Strange once said. So let's do the thing. I want everybody to have as many social links as possible, so I'm eager to just bend the rules this once so that can happen.
Yeah, just to have it as like one scene instead of having three separate scenes with one with each character.
Cool. So what are you doing?
I think that we're leading up to our 6 p.m. thing, correct? Okay.
Let's say it's around 3:30 at this point.
Okay. No, just making sure that's going on. I think that Nina is going to um decide that we all need to eat and play a game of dominoes.
Okay.
Dominoes as in the stacky things, not pizza, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Regular dominoes, not
Yeah.
Severosi dominoes.
Bones.
Oh lord.
Different bones. So yes, we're all going to play dominoes because that's what you do when you're at a party with a lot of people. And this feels like it should be a party because there are so many of us here and everyone's freaking out. And so is Nina. So we gotta,
Okay.
relax
Cool.
and have snacks.
I think Vic is actually really bad at dominoes because it's too simple. It's only about reading people, and Vic doesn't want to treat their friends like problems to be solved in that way. And so Vic is just like getting walked.
Yeah. Everyone obviously is failing to apply a good poker face to the game, and you're like, but that means I know that you don't have good tiles, and that makes me feel bad, so I'm gonna play suboptimally anyway.
Ruth gets irritated and starts playing for Vic.
Wow.
Nina is gonna make everyone reach in though to like do the shuffle. Like she starts doing it and then nobody moves and she's like, everybody, come on. You gotta if you don't touch them, it doesn't count.
It doesn't, by the way. You have to.
You have to touch them is a requirement.
Okay. Nina and Ruth, each give me a one die fortune roll.
Okay.
Uh-oh. A 4 for Ruth.
A 4 for Nina.
Wow. You play 4 games of dominoes, and Nina wins 2, and Ruth wins 2. Do you all share in this intimate moment, or do you set boundaries?
We share in the moment.
Everybody touches the dominoes.
Mhm.
Everybody touches the dominoes. You got to do
It's
it.
like mahjong, but for small children.
Okay. Cool. So what action are you rolling for this?
I think that for this one, I'm not sure whether this is empathize or express. I feel like the
This
goal
feels
here
like
is to express. Okay, so either one, I have two in either, so it doesn't change anything. But like, because yeah, it's kind of like we're all hanging out the way that we used to, but right before terrible things are about to happen to us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
So I would like you to make your empathize roll 3 times. The first is for Vic, the second is for Kat, and the third is for Ruth.
okay. I get plus 1d when rolling social link. So that is technically 3d6 3 times. Here we go. All right, so I'm sorry. It was first is for Vic. Okay.
And that's with your +1 from participating and +1 from your move.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put that here, and then okay, so that is a 2, a 3, and a 1 for Vic. So 3.
So that's one link? If I'm not
That's
mistaken.
2 links. 2 links.
Right, no, that's two. Right.
Okay, so 2 links. Okay, then Cat. It's a 4, a 4, and a 3. So that is 3 links. And then Ruth. A 6, a 6, and a 5. It's a crit. Is there a way to crit that? Or do I just get 4 links? Because I am sad that I wasted a crit. Not that
I
you can
think if you
waste them.
crit,
That's
you
not
get
how this
5.
works.
I'm pretty sure our crit gives you
Yes,
5.
critical success is 5. Yes.
Crit
Oh,
is
sweet.
5.
Okay.
Which would
Yay!
actually mean it's 6.
Oh, 6 links. Okay.
Right, because it's 1, 2, 3, 5, and so that would be +1 to any of those.
I get +1 downtime activity and +1d when rolling social link, but I don't think I get it. Oh,
the link, all of the downtimes are the 1, 2, 3, but +1, which is why investigation, a 1 to 3 is 2 ticks, not 1.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's done. So now I have to, y'all can rearrange them then, the dots. Make them go where you like.
Should we half and half just to make it easier?
Sure. We can't half and half with Ruth because there are 5 of them.
It goes to 6.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So all but so it was 2, then 3, then 5. So then it's 3, 4, and 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the chart was modified.
Okay.
Right. So, Vic, does that mean that you're giving Nina 1 link or 2?
So Vic gets 1 and Nina gets 1 because a 1 to 3 is 2 links total.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I'm like. It's 2, 3, and 5, right?
I think I think it's 2, 3, 4, 6.
Okay, the one I have says 5 links on a critical success, so that's what I was.
Right. Okay. But that's the without the +1.
Sorry. Okay.
Right. So, Kat, how many links are you giving Nina? I think you were muted just now.
We have 2 to split between us, right?
Yes.
1 and 1.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. And Ruth.
And again, you have that wonderful magical ability that will let us apply those anywhere.
Yep.
Ruth, how many links are you giving Nina?
I think he'll end up being half and half because Ruth always tries to give the links to somebody else, but Nina probably like makes him take more dominoes or something, so it becomes half and half.
Why is math hard, everybody?
Right? So many numbers just occurred all at once. So cool. All right. So everyone but Nina still has one downtime action, if I'm not mistaken. Cool. What are you up to?
I would like to spend my other action having an intimate moment with Kat. Because Kat was acting weird.
Okay.
Kat was worried about me for some reason. So the intimate moment is Ruth showing up with like some baked good that he brought from his home and then putting it down in front of her and then saying, "Are you okay?"
Kat looks at the baked good and goes, "Is there poppy seed in this?"
Yes.
Yes. Now I'm okay.
Ruth is pleased.
Jeoi, what are they? Are they financier?
Yeah.
Yes. Lemon poppy seed financiers.
Mhm.
Yes.
Maybe he had stressed bake them specifically for Kat, but you know,
And when
he
Kat
lives
bites in,
alone.
she's
None
like,
of you
"Ooh,
know that.
ooh." What else is in this? Is that rosemary? This is amazing.
And then he goes, "Are you feeling better now?"
Absolutely.
And then rather creepily, because he's not good at socializing yet, really, he watches Kat finish eating and then pats her on the shoulder and says, "You keep doing weird shit." As in, continue
Wait,
doing
wait.
the weird stuff.
Okay. Kat is going to share this moment, but she's going to do it in what is possibly a non-optimal way.
Oh no.
Okay, how?
She puts her hand up to pull a card and says, "Let me tell your fortune."
Oh lord. Oh lord. Give me a 1d99 roll.
If it's
54.
horrifically bad fate.
What's a 54?
54. Please don't be bad. This would be weird. Okay. Um. This is from the suit of masks. This card is the stone mask. The image on the card itself is of a large, like very concrete mask that looks like in the style of um uh like a golem's head that is like being held on a wall.
Kat looks between the card and Ruth and thinks about a different timeline. Ruth is also someone she has not taken enough care of, and she regrets that pretty seriously. The stone mask is a card for when someone has been holding up the front so long that it has calcified. It is just stuck, frozen in time. And Kat snickers at the card and goes, "Tell me something I don't know."
Ruth kind of peeks around to see it and sees this mask and scowls and says, "This looks like some idiot thing Calendrin would wear."
But see, When you make that face, doesn't it look kind of like you?
No. Vic
It completely
plucks it up and
does.
turns it over and is like, does this look like me? It looks exactly like him.
It's not going to make me it's not going to make you like me anymore, but it's absolutely the face you make.
He turns his hand over, drops the card, and starts walking over as if to strangle Vic, and Kat gets to finish the intimate moment by playfully keeping Ruth from strangling him.
Aw, look at this. We're all bonding.
Did you roll already for this? My brain briefly became
Did
hollow.
not.
Oh. Okay, cool. So, right. So, because Kat opened herself up to this intimate moment, it means that Ruth must now roll an athlete for this thing. Ruth, you are muted.
My bad. I was about to say Express works the best here. But I only have one paltry dice in that, so rolling 1d6, and that's a 5.
Cool. Kat, you get to decide how it's split.
3 to Ruth, 2 to Kat. Wait, hang on. There's 4 total, isn't there? Numbers!
Yes.
I can't numbers. 2 and 2.
Okay. So that was Ruth's downtime action, so still one from Vic and one from Kat.
I've got one if you don't have one on deck already. So I have a question for Iori. Does Vic know that they're Kat's fated person / the lodestone domino?
I think Vic probably suspects that, but Kat has also been really... Because Kat's not actually good in this case at keeping this particular secret, just because Vic can very obviously tell she is navigating around like something horrible and bad happened to Vic, and it has become the conversational black hole in which they are orbiting around at all times.
Right. If you think that it is reasonable for Vic to make that jump, then I would pitch the conversation that is Vic kind of finding a moment in the kind of ebb and flow of the conversation where they can talk to Kat individually, and I'm seeing this as a bit of a mirror of the downtime from the first episode. And so Vic goes in with the really blunt thing in mind and pulls back and says, I know you've been through this a lot more than all of us, and I don't say thank you enough. Because every time we come away from a mission alive, it probably means that you've done something. And I want you to know that it's bigger than me. The revolution is bigger than me. The Dream Knights are bigger than me. You can keep going if you think we can do the thing. You don't have to rewind for me.
It's not about you. It's about what the whole world... I mean, like, obviously it is, right? Because you're my friend. But it's also about what the whole world looks like without you. It's so much worse, Vic.
Like, I don't obviously don't want to die, but I think everything that I've learned and all the things that I've done have shown me that one person might be the right person at the right time, but it's not about the special. It's not about a soul genius. It's just about being able to do the thing in the moment, to gather people around you. And
it's about someone being willing to step into that role. And when you're not there, other people don't want to step up. I don't think you understand how much weight you are carrying for other people. And I don't know if that's a mercy or not.
I guess we'll find out.
And also, you don't get to die. None of you do. I saw it, and it sucks. And I've decided I don't like it. There is no point to having this power if it doesn't get my friends out alive.
As long as you're doing it because you want to and because you feel like you have to.
If I didn't want to be here, making sure everyone survived, I would have left this fucking city so long ago. There's a beach in Bermuda. There's a hammock with my name on it.
And when we flush that fucking conspiracy down the toilet, we're all gonna go there for as long as I can manage it.
There's a Mai Tai, Vic. It's served in a coconut and it's got an umbrella in it.
Well, then let's make sure we're all there to drink out of it.
A Mai Tai with 4 straws.
Because right now all I have is this ready to drink one, and I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as good, but you're welcome to it if you like.
Kat takes it and just like, oh, ew, it's one of the canned ones. These are disgusting. And she has to turn it over to mix it. Oh, it tastes kind of like if you just let tap water look at a pineapple very quickly. It's like the ghost of a LaCroix.
So I'm sure I don't need to ask this question because that performance was enough. But do you share this intimate moment that you said boundaries?
I think we left boundaries somewhere way the fuck back there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, fair.
We set the boundary of no one is allowed to die.
Yep.
So yeah, Vic, what are you rolling for this action? Jeez,
so I think there was probably a version or a timeline where Vic tried to do this as confess, but instead was presenting it as forgive. Like, you don't have to do this for us.
Okay.
So I've got 1 + 1 transcendent in forgive, which means I'm going to roll 1 plus the bonus from shared. Because forgive is an awesome action and we should roll it more. So that's a 3 and a 4, which would be 3 total links for Kat to distribute.
2 on Vic, 1 on Kat.
Okay. Is that everything? Or if I'm not mistaken,
Kat has 1.
Right, yes.
So when we brought Aisha out of the bathtub, Kat saved that second set of cards. Oops, all distorted lens deck. And Kat shuffles that. This is going to be a gather information, I think.
Okay. Cool.
And I am also, so that's going to already have +1 effect from Oracle. But Kat lays out shuffles and lays out 5 in a line, and she's looking for minute differences between these cards.
Okay. What action are you rolling to gather information?
Analyze. I have 1 dot in that. What is my position in effect, friend Brandon?
Your position is desperate.
Oh ho! Fascinating.
Your effect is extreme.
Okay, Jesus. 4? What's a 4 get me? Also, let's note that desperate filled my stars track, and I am going to put that dot into flow.
Okay.
Is
So,
this
what is this
like
spread?
the first? She's just doing lean in and tirage.
I have no idea what this means.
She's reading 5 in a line.
Okay, cool.
She's doing comparative analysis, basically.
Right. So, oops, all distorted lens. They're all magnifying glasses observing what seems to be a piece of text in the image. You squint at them for a
Is
little
all
bit.
this text the same?
You can tell at a glance it is not the same. But you can't make out what the text is just at a glance. If you wanted to use, like, a glass, or I don't know if there just so happens to be a magnifying glass in this base of operations, which I'll freely let Vic qualify for me for this scene. But if you had something that would allow you to get a closer look at the text, you can take a closer look at the text.
This was previously in office.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a fair bet that there'd be a magnifying glass in some of these desks.
Oh yeah. The desk of what used to be the founder of this startup has a jeweler's loop in it for no good reason.
That just happens in offices, though. I've never understood why, but it does.
Neither me.
But yeah, Kat goes for it with the magnifying glass. She is comparing the different versions of the text. She has a little notebook out. She is making notes about the differences between versions.
Okay, cool. When you glance at them idly, it looks to the naked eye as if each piece of text in each of these cards is one single word that is being distorted by the distorted lens. When you take your jeweler's loop to the first card, that's when you realize that, as if by magic, because of course by magic, it's actually an entire small sentence clustered in center aligned text. The first card says, Aisha is a battering ram. The second card says, Rustam's heart is soft and pliable. The third card says, all paths lead away from Greece. The fourth card says, dig up your friend. And the fifth card says, something unlikely to be unlocked. you share any of this with anyone here?
Kat slides that over to Vic and goes, "Your friends have all those fun ciphers. Do you have anything here? Does this look like anything to you?"
And I think because Vic is a tragic genius, Vic spouts out several different, like, oh well, it could be this, it could be that. If we use Rot 13, this can be this, this, and this, because like Vic is a D&D int 18 character. Or are they just metaphorical? Is Aisha battering ram being used on Rustum, who is soft and pliable? The question then is, are these in a sequence of causality? And if so, what is the thing to be unlocked?
Well,
Who?
Look at the fourth line. Dig up your friend. Like, I don't particularly consider them a friend, but for some reason I'm thinking about euphony.
If the other half that came to Ruth's has metaphorically buried the part that they were with, or the whole that they used to be, does that mean we have to go and find them? Also, there's the question of, has Aisha been in the dream as long as euphony as a harmony has existed, and or any of the constituent parts? Because I'm at the point where I don't necessarily believe that anything is unrelated to anything here.
I don't like how interrelated things are. It makes me feel like one of those guys with the push pins and the red yarn and the maps. It's not a good look for anyone.
Then you shouldn't go into the second room over there. And Vic smiles.
Ruth barges down that door. Is it a red string mean room?
1000%.
Nina comes in from another room and says, "I did something illegal." It's snacks. I took snacks out of the vending machine. She dumps them on the table. Okay, who wants the Pringle?
Cat.
Oh shit, are those sour cream and onion?
Oh god. While this is happening, your hand idly touches the first card again, and you notice that it doesn't feel like it's the same material that it usually is. What did the text on the first card say again?
Aisha is a battering ram.
When you look down at the card, it's a new card. And
now what does it tell me?
The new card is the Curious Child. It's a small girl with a magnifying glass up to one of her eyes. You've seen this card before. The girl in this card is Aisha. What does this text on the second card?
Rustum's heart is soft and pliable.
When you look back at that card, it now says, it is now the Lost Stranger. It is an image of Rustum the Mirror holding a lantern in a dark forest.
The third card is all paths lead away from Greece.
This card. What is Aha. This card is a card called the Grinning Figure. All you see on the card is a very wide, crooked toothed smile.
Hate that one. Number 4, dig up your friend.
That is the Witch of Masks. It is Euphony as you first met them before their harmony completed, wearing a mask that is their completed form's face.
Mm-hmm. 5, something unlikely to be unlocked.
That card is the winning ticket. It is not a physical card. It is a check. The amount that it's made out to is just the word power, and it's written for Nina.
Nina is currently cramming little chocolate chip cookies into her mouth.
Kat folds that one up and tucks it into the breast pocket of Nina's jacket.
Nice.
Nina says, whoa, whoa.
A little something in case you need it.
Or
Later.
And just as that happens, Vic, your phone rings.
Mm-hmm.
My phone, not Rustum's phone.
Yeah, your phone.
Okay. Do I get any information on the display?
It's an alarm that was set previously for an hour before your meeting with Rustum.
Click it off. All right, folks, it's go time.
You hear a car pull up outside your safe house.
Was that part of the plan?
Rustum, when he communicated to you, said that he would be willing to give you a ride because he wants the place that you meet to be as off the grid as possible.
Okay.
When you get outside, you see what obviously looks like a bulletproof Escalade. And someone in a Dreamshine like engineer's uniform is sitting in the back seat, and in the front seat is one of your colleagues, Vic. Who is this?
One of my revolutionary colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be Love. It's the one that we've met kind of and seen on screen.
Mm-hmm. Love grins at you when you come up to the vehicle and goes, "They gave us a car? I guess to make sure that we don't get in any trouble?"
I mean, if we do, we're stealing this car.
I'm a good driver.
I mean,
this is also true.
Like, look at this thing, and like, Love knocks on the window glass, and you kind of hear how thick it is. I'm pretty sure we could like drive this through a war zone. Anyway, we're on the clock apparently. I don't even know where the destination is. I'm just following the guy in the back's instructions. So hop in.
And what should we call you? Vic says to the engineer.
I'm David, but I'm hoping that when this is done, you never need to remember my name again. This is weird. You've seen the news, right?
Vic is exceptionally online.
Right. So you would know this. There are news reports all over Cloud Harbor and in various other continents of weird kaleidoscopic light pouring through places where there are no access to light, and the light itself touching things and changing their shape. Other things are warping and glitching all over the world.
You ever watch Vic says to David, you ever watch an old anime from the 20th century? It has like 3 endings because the creator went back to it so many times.
Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Has a snappy pop song.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that weird.
I'll take your word for it, I guess. Anyway, we need to make a stop first as well. Mr. Demir said um, we might need a little bit more juice, apparently. And I'm sure Siobhan already contacted y'all. Um, you hear someone out of breath. This is the car hasn't even taken off yet. Someone out of breath you hear running up to the vehicle, and the door swings open, and it's Siobhan in all black denim, and like some very sturdy boots. Just kind of steps into the vehicle and goes, "You were gonna leave without me, were you?"
Are you going to be a problem?
Not for you.
I like the look.
Thank you. It's a low-key version of your friend's look. You know instinctively that Siobhan is talking about euphony. Aisha very gingerly gets into the vehicle and goes, "Are we going on a trip?" And the engineer goes, "Yes, ma'am. We're here to take you to your brother. It's gonna be particularly serious from this point on. I'm sure you understand." Aisha nods. "It's always serious with my brother, isn't it?" Um, and sits in Cat's lap.
Kat pulls the curious child out of her purse and pins it to Aisha's jacket.
Aisha was glitching less for the last few hours and has now stopped glitching. Siobhan glances over at you and goes, "Got one for me then?" Siobhan will just have to suffer.
Oh, so she's not the grinning figure. That's
Nope.
actually a load off my chest.
So you, so everyone is in the vehicle now, and Love turns back to you all and goes, "Well, let's get a move on," and drives off. And you all head further southwest of Cloud Harbor. Um, until you come up to an abandoned apartment building, where waiting at the very dusty, very broken down lobby is Rustam Demir in a different suit than what he wore last night, uh, chugging an energy drink for dear life.
Nina reaches for the snacks she brought.
The illegal snacks. Extra fortifying. Because they broke the law.
Nina's a rebel now.
Um, you get out of the vehicle. When Rustam glances at you all, he shouts for David, and David rushes over to his side, and they mutter about something very briefly. It seems like Rustam is very anxious about something, and then David turns to Love and goes, "Oh crap! I forgot to tell you about the thing. We were supposed to make a detour. We totally forgot." Uh, that's not my fault. I was a driver. You told me to. I was driving. You gave me the directions. I drove. If you didn't tell me to pick up, David scratches his head and turns back to Rustam and goes, "Well, if we can't bring them, I don't know." And then, who's the last to get out of the Escalade?
Oh, it's probably Nina, but I'm willing to be persuaded.
I also believe it's probably Nina.
Because I think she's probably fumbling for the snacks that she is trying to bring with her, and there are so many of them that she keeps dropping some and then trying to retrieve them.
I will say Ruth was the first out, but Ruth also stays by the car to make sure everyone gets out safely because he is 100% not trusting anything that's happening right now. And he has a knife.
Cool. So that means Nina and Ruth both notice this when, like, a pack of cookies falls out of Nina's grasp and is about to hit this very dirty floor outside this apartment building. But a hand catches it before it hits the ground. Both of you turn back to see Euphony, who already opened this pack of cookies, puts one in their mouth, and goes, "Y'all were gonna start without me?" Mm-hmm.
Can we see whether this euphony has a big hole in their chest?
You can see through the mesh vest under their jacket that they're covering the hole with a large piece of cloth that has text written on it that says "My eyes are up here." And that's where we're gonna end tonight's session of Girl by Moonlight Fractal Spire.
Just absolute sicko mode, Brandon.
Yeah, this was, oh my god. Y'all made some of the best decisions of this series in this session, and I love it so much. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is wild. So yeah, Rustam is not as evil as we previously thought. Aisha still has a body to go back to. And it's the final confrontation is nearing. How do we all feel?
Scream!
Ready to shank somebody.
Yeah, all very valid feelings.
I have to call attention to the fact that Iori was able to like ramp up the emotion in that like social link scene on the like drop of a feather.
There is a trick to this, as I have told Jeoi in the past. If you ever need to just manufacture waterworks on a dime, think about Laika. Think about Laika and how humans just collectively don't deserve dogs. Think about, like, how did the guy who had to put her in that shuttle sleep at night? I hope someone just drop kicked that man, honestly.
Jesus Christ, you're not wrong, but
The
wow.
I think the lowbrow version of that is for Futurama fans, and you think of Fry's dog.
Oh lord. Well, that was that. Oh,
Nina has
wow.
left the chat.
Oh my god, thank you so very much for still being such amazing people. This is wild. I'm very excited to get to the end of this. We are so close to so many incredible things happening. But before that final confrontation finally takes place, I would like to ask each of you to please tell all of the lovely people in chat who you are, what you do, and where people can find you. Starting with Mike.
Hey, everybody. I've been Mike Underwood. I write as Michael R. Underwood. I am an author, podcaster, game designer, and sometimes professional GM. If you want me to run a game for you, you can find me at startplaying.games. Currently, I've been running Blaze in the Dark games, which has been very fun. I republished my Geekomancy series this summer, so you can find those in ebook and paperback, and some of them in audio. And you can watch Court of Blades Valorward, the other Speculate series, the one that for which I am the dancing master, because we have dancing master and stage manager because we're very cool. Brandon is in that as a cool character, along with some other lovely folks. You can find that at youtube.com/ArvinEleron. If you can find it in the Speculate playlist, or just look for the Court of Blades parts. He, him pronouns for me. I have been Vic Sains, the guardian who will throw themselves into certain death at basically every opportunity, but maybe less so now after a great conversation with Kat.
Nice. Next, Valerie.
I forgot my name because I'm so sad now. Thanks, Mike. I am Valerie Valdes, and I don't know. I write stuff. Who cares? I'm on Twitch as the kids are asleep. That's when I play video games. And I'm doing co-working streams this month for NaNoWriMo on Wednesdays. If you too need to write words for National Novel Writing Month, you can join me for that. You can find me online at ValerieValdez.com, and that is with an S if you're listening and not looking at my name.
Nice. Next, Jeoi.
Hello, hello, and very soon, goodbye, goodbye. I'm Yoi Gawain Lin, game and fiction writer. Tonight I have played Vermilion Jingwei Ruth, who is one surly son of a mother. Where can you find me? I honestly have no idea. I have not found myself even. But at the moment, my Twitter account still seems to exist. You can find me there at This Is My Design. Design is spelled capital DASEIN. It is a philosophy joke and a Hannibal pun. And I am worried about what Ruth is going to do next session.
Oh god. I imagine a lot of punching, but we will discover when we get there. And last but not least, Iori.
Happy times then, everybody. Kusano Iori, you can find me at kusanoiori.com and at Iori Kusano on Twitter for as long as Twitter persists. If Twitter ends, you will not find me. I'm returning to the woods. I encourage you to do so as well. May you be freed from the burden of having a take and having randos in your replies and all that shit. Let's see. We had a story out in Apex in July called Have Mercy, My Love, While We Wait for the Thaw. In about 2 weeks, there will be a new story in Uncanny called Can I Offer You a Nice Egg in This Trying Time? And my debut novella, Hybrid Heart, will be available from Neon Hemlock next year. Today I have been, as always, Kat Holly the Time Traveler. Thank you, chat. You've been great.
Thank you very much. And as for me, again, I have been your humble stage manager this evening, Brandon O'Brien. Pronouns he, him, or they, them. I am a poet, writer, and game designer from Trinidad and Tobago. My debut poetry collection, Can You Sign My Tentacle, won the Elgin Award this year. So if you're interested in weird, silly poetry about the gods of the Cthulhu mythos coming down to Earth one day to get Drake's autograph, please check that out. Also, in Interstellar Flight Press magazine, an essay that I wrote called The Greatest Conspiracy of All Time, released yesterday. It's about the anniversary of the acquittal of Kyle Rittenhouse, but is also about the TV show Timeless and why that show kicked ass and it should have gotten more seasons than it gotten. So yeah, please read that and share that widely. I have a lot of very strong feelings about that essay, so I'd like it very much if a lot of people read it widely. A reminder, of course, thank you so very much to all of the lovely people who have supported Speculate during our fundraiser marathon stream. I'm very excited for us to be able to give you more content, including more weird content with my strange friends. And if you want to continue supporting us or let other people know how to support us, please let people know about Patreon, patreon.com/speculate, so we can continue being strange friends. But until our next session, I would like to ask all of the lovely people on screen to tell all of the lovely people in chat, good night. Thank
Good
you so very
night.
much for being so strange. I'm very excited to get into more shenanigans. But until then, I am going to briefly disappear from here so I can come over here. And thank you all again for joining us for Girl by Moonlight Fractal Spire. Today was wild. I'm glad we got to do all of the things. Everybody was delightful in their play. I am very excited for what comes next. I don't have words anymore, even. I'm just thinking about um, the final confrontation and all of the ways that they are going to continue to be awesome and impressive. But we have to get to that point first. And that means that we all have to sleep for however long that we sleep and continue with the rest of our days until this point. So again, a reminder that you can support this channel in various wonderful ways, including checking out the YouTube channel, subscribing to the Patreon, as previously mentioned, both the Speculate Patreon and patreon.com/Arvan Elrond to support the channel itself. By checking out arvanelrond.com, following us all on Twitter or any other social media that we may inhabit when the Titanic finally sinks. And if there is a Strange Friends update in that regard at some point in the future, I will give it to you. But for the time being, we are all still on Twitter, and some of us are on Mastodon. And of course, the Discord, where you can always still interact with the strange friends and all of the other lovely people who engage on this channel on a regular basis. So you will always be able to know what's up with us if you check out the Discord channel as well. I am actually running out of words. Right, before I totally forget about everything else, because my brain is becoming hollow from all of the brilliant experiences that I just had. A reminder as well, exclamation point BLM. On this channel, we still assert and affirm the value of Black lives in the United States and everywhere. And again, I ask you very nicely if you'd please check out that essay that I wrote in Interstellar Flight Press magazine, because a lot of the feelings that I have about timeless are timely in this particular moment. Um, exclamation point help now. Please continue to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help. Especially as we enter the holiday season, a lot of feelings are going to bubble up for a lot of people from Thanksgiving all the way into the mid-January period. So please, if you're struggling with feelings about spending time with family or not being able to spend time with family or matters of wealth and access and class are of particular overwhelm for you in this moment, and of course first and foremost our concerns about our physical and mental health, please make yourself available to those who may need someone to talk to, and please know that you can talk to someone if you are struggling as well. And last but not least, exclamation point Ukraine. The Ukrainian people are still struggling to survive against an illegal occupation by the Russian government, and it is entering some particularly high political points in this moment. So, any support that you can give the Ukrainian people, financially or in kind, in order to continue that struggle and hopefully triumph against it, would be very valuable in this moment for them. If I'm not mistaken, nothing is happening on this channel on Monday. Let's be sure. Right, Monday we'll be free, but on Tuesday expect to see at noon, at around noon Atlantic, if I'm not mistaken, around 11 o'clock Eastern time. Expect to see Greg venture against the Mongol hordes in more Ghost of Tsushima. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm probably going to pass through and check some of that out. But until that happens, until the next time you see me and the rest of the strange friends, I hope that you have a wonderful night. I hope that you have a wonderful week. And last but not least, sweet dreams, everyone. I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye. So here are all of my encouragements for you all to make terrible decisions, as I am the GM.
Ash has a crossbow bolt in her side, 0 dots in skirmish, and 0 dots in wreck. And I'm so excited to see this get even worse. So that's one vote for escalation.
Skelly has 3 guns and all the ammo.
Crossroads has no guns, but Crossroads is a gun powered by ghosts.
Have we established that your guns are special to you? I feel like we're establishing that your guns are special to you.
Before this crew, they were my only friends.
You've known us for 5 days. You've known
really
those guns a lot longer.
These are my babies.
I just want to say, Rowan was starting to do this, and then he realizes to harvest, this doesn't help. Like, don't do that.
This is not.
No.
This is
Like,
not
don't do
this.
this.
Like, yeah.
Doing this to an executioner.
Yeah, that's not
I'm
what you
just
want.
like this, like.
We call that the go sign, you know? Like, yeah.
Oh man.
This seems great. I will do a fortune roll. Notes. No thoughts. Head empty. 1! I rolled a 1!
Yep.